When you hear the words financial planning, what comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's complicated spreadsheets, confusing jargon, maybe a little bit of anxiety. But what if there's a totally different way to think about it? Today, we're going to look at a model that's designed to connect your money directly to the life you actually want to live. Let's dive in.
And really, this is the whole idea right here. It's a huge shift in perspective. Instead of seeing your finances as this big hurdle or some chore you have to deal with, this approach frames it as a tool, a way to actively build a life with purpose. It's about turning what is often a source of stress into a real source of empowerment.
Okay, that's a beautiful idea, right? But it brings up a really big question. How do you actually do that? How do you build a plan that goes beyond just some retirement number and really takes your entire life into account? That is the real challenge we're digging into now.
And the answer, at least according to the approach we're looking at, comes down to one key concept: a holistic view. The best way to think about it is like zooming out to see your entire financial puzzle all at once, instead of just trying to jam one piece into place at a time.
So, what does holistic actually mean when we're talking about money? Well, it means you stop treating your investments, your pension, and your debt like they all live on separate islands. The whole goal is to create one single master plan where every single financial decision you make works together in harmony.
And when we say holistic, we really mean everything. It's not just about your investments. We're talking your cash flow, your property, any debts you have, insurance, even your taxes. The key insight here is that a decision in one of these areas, say taking on more debt, is absolutely going to impact another, like your ability to invest. A really effective plan has to see how all these pieces connect.
But look, a great plan is only half the battle. The other half is trusting the person who's guiding you. And that brings us to the second big idea, what's called the fiduciary difference. This is all about building that trust and making sure everything is crystal clear.
This is the first and, honestly, probably the most important principle of all. It's a rock-solid commitment to always act as a fiduciary. Now, that might sound like a bit of a legal term, but we're about to unpack exactly why it's so important for you.
And the second principle? It tackles another huge pain point in this industry: hidden costs. By making fees simple, totally transparent, and getting rid of commissions, the whole point is to make sure you always know exactly what you're paying for. No surprises, no weird charges down the line.
Now, this third principle really just ties the first two together perfectly. See, when you get rid of commissions and hidden fees, you also get rid of conflicts of interest. And that means the advice you're getting is no longer about selling a specific product, it's about finding the strategy that is genuinely the best one for your goals. Okay, so let's just lock this definition in because it is so important. Fiduciary isn't just some fancy industry word. It is a legal requirement. It means an advisor is obligated by law to put your interests ahead of their own and their company's. And there are zero exceptions.
And the difference is, well, it's night and day, really.
On one side, you've got the fiduciary model, where they are legally bound to do what's best for you, and you pay a clear fee. On the other side is the traditional broker model, where commissions can create a powerful incentive to sell certain products. It's a fundamental difference in motivation, and it's absolutely critical to understand.
So we have the philosophy, but how does it all actually get delivered? Well, this is where technology comes into play. Let's take a look at how modern tech isn't about replacing the human advisor, but about making the whole planning process more transparent, collaborative, and way more convenient for you.
This whole tech journey is really designed for your convenience. It starts by giving you a single dashboard where you can see all of your finances anytime you want, 24/7. Then it makes talking about it super easy. You can connect on your own terms, whether that's text, video, whatever works for you. And finally, with tools like co-browsing, you and your advisor can literally be looking at the same page online, making changes together in real time. And the toolkit goes even deeper than that. You've got sophisticated systems for the really complex planning, but there are also tools that are grounded in behavioral science to help you understand your own relationship with risk. And maybe most importantly, it's all powered by independent, whole-of-market data to make sure the advice you get is truly unbiased. Of course, a great philosophy and some cool tech, that doesn't mean a whole lot without expertise and security, right? And that brings us to the final and maybe the most foundational piece of this whole puzzle: qualifications and official regulation. For anyone in the UK, this right here is the ultimate layer of security. Being regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, means the firm is legally held to incredibly strict standards. It's the official stamp of approval that you're dealing with an accountable, professional organization.
And you know, real transparency means showing you the proof. Here you can see the specific regulator and the firm's registration number. You can actually take that number, go to the FCA's public website, and look them up yourself to verify everything. It's all right there out in the open.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've looked at the holistic approach, the absolute importance of fiduciary duty, the tech that makes it all run smoothly, and the regulation that keeps it secure. So let's just boil it all down to the single most important question. What does all of this actually mean for you?
Well, this is what it all adds up to. The end result is a financial plan that isn't some generic, off-the-shelf template, but is hyper-personalized specifically to your life. It's a plan that's built on a legally required foundation of trust, total transparency on costs, and technology that really puts you in the driver's seat.
And that leaves us with one final and really critical question to think about. It's maybe the single most important thing you can ask to make sure your own finances are truly set up to empower your dreams and not hold you back.